On tonight's North Fulton Prep Rally, the scores don't count, but the hits are for real. Football is back on NFPR. Alpharetta tasted the playoffs for the first time last year, and their road to the top got started with a home test against the up-and-coming Longhorns from Lambert. Centennial began their campaign with a tough trip to face 4A power Marist. Could the Knights make a statement by grounding the War Eagles? Plus, we take a look ahead to all the big matchups in Week 1 of the 2011 football regular season. The workday is over, so take a break because NFPR is coming at you right now.
Comcast presents your source for North Fulton High School sports. This is North Fulton Prep Rally.
Hello, and welcome to North Fulton Prep Rally, your weekly high school sports program featuring the very best North Fulton school action. I'm Teddy Williams, joined by Nathan Schutter, year-round on Comcast Channel 25. Catch us here weeknights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. And Nathan, it's been a long off-season, but football is finally back.
Yeah, I can't wait. Pads have been popping around North Fulton. Should be a fun season. Let's hope the teams around North Fulton are ready to kick it off this weekend.
The regular season kicks off for most North Fulton teams this Friday night, but we had a chance to see a couple of the local teams in preseason action this past week. And we start things off at Alpharetta, where the Raiders played host to Lambert. NFPR's Brian Wise has more.
Alpharetta looking to get off to a good start in their preseason game against Lambert. First play from scrimmage, Derek Long hands it off to Jalen Simmons on the draw. And Simmons showing off some speed and elusiveness, picking up a huge chunk of yardage, all the way down to the Lambert 25-yard line. Later in the drive, Long looking to pass, but he is picked off across the middle by Matt Ham. Long will eventually make the tackle, but not before Ham returns it to the Alpharetta side of the 50. The Raider defense would step up. Noah Allen breaks through the line for the quarterback sack, and the Longhorn drive would stall. Lambert would have a better result on their next drive. David Brodus rolling to his right and fires a bullet to Brock Maxwell in the end zone to give the Longhorns a 7-0 lead. Alpharetta would respond with a drive of their own. Joshua Dobbs hands it off to Michael Polk. He gets around the right side and takes it all the way in for the touchdown. We are all tied up at 7. The Raider offense would continue to roll from there. Jalen Simmons would record a pair of 1-yard touchdown runs to give Alpharetta a 21-7 halftime advantage. Second half, and the offense continues to shine. Derek Long finds a streaking Blake Rowlandson open across the middle. He cuts it back towards the sideline, and he is gone for the touchdown. Raiders in control, up 27-14 at the end of 3. Fourth quarter, Raiders threatening once again. Dobbs scrambles and hits a wide-open Noah Brash for an apparent touchdown. Unfortunately, a flag would wipe the points off the board, but Alpharetta would still hang on for the win, 27-24 over Lambert.
It's always nice to get a win, even in a scrimmage. But Nathan, what did you take away from this game for Roswell?
That they're going to have a tough opponent in Alpharetta when they play them later this season. The Raiders look pretty good in this game. The offense got off to a little bit of a slow start. The backup, Joshua Dobbs, came in, led him on a touchdown drive. Then when the senior Derek Long, the starter, got back in the game, he looked great from there. Led him on 3 touchdown drives, including a nice touchdown pass. The defense, I thought, played pretty well, too. The starters only giving up 7 points. I think Alpharetta is going to be a pretty tough team. If they can play good defense, which is crucial in 5A, then they can definitely get back to the playoffs this season.
Absolutely, and defense can win you a lot of games, especially in high school football. But back to the highlights, and Centennial looks to be in the Region 6 playoff hunt this season, and they would get a good test against Marist when the Knights and the War Eagles faced off for their preseason game, and our own Nathan Schutter was there.
A few pregame showers couldn't dampen the spirits of Centennial taking on Marist. War Eagles on the move. Miles Willis pitches it to William Curran. He gets outside for a big gain, but the drive would stall on a missed field goal. Second quarter, Centennial driving. Jimmy Meyer the toss to Cyril Teal, and he breaks free down the sideline before being pushed out inside the 10-yard line. The Knights will have to settle for a field goal attempt, but it's blocked by Brandon Young of Marist, and we remain scoreless at the break. Second half, Knights threatening. Chase Rosenberg in at quarterback. He's going to call his own number on the keeper, and he moves the ball all the way inside the 5-yard line. Zetrick Smith bulldozes his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Knights take a 7-0 lead. Marist will respond on the ensuing drive. Jason Morris powers it in from 5 yards out, but the PAT was no good. War Eagles down 7-6. Austin Harden on to attempt a 53-yard field goal, and it is good. Marist takes a 9-7 lead over Centennial. Third-string quarterback Matthew Harry's now in the game for the Knights, and he unloads a pass downfield to Christian Robinson, who makes a spectacular catch and comes up with a huge gain. Unfortunately, the drive would stall. Centennial forced to attempt a field goal, and Connor Davis knocks it through the uprights to reclaim a 10-9 lead for the Knights. Marist will get back on the offensive. Nick Carrier with a pitch to Michael Toner. He picks up some big blocks and a large chunk of yardage deep in Knights territory. Then it's Carrier, pitching it this time to the right side. Chris Varala coasts into the end zone for 6, and the War Eagles go on to defeat Centennial by a final of 29-10.
The game does not count in the standings, but what can Centennial take from this experience?
Well, they went toe-to-toe with Marist in this one. The final score was a little misleading. Marist scored 2 touchdowns in the last couple minutes of the game with the backups in there. The starters played very well against Marist. The defense especially looked very good. The offense kind of struggled a little bit to get things going. I think Jimmy Meyer and Wade Francis could be a very deadly combination this year. Zetrick Smith looked like a very good replacement for Carlson Carty. So I think Centennial can feel good about this game. Even though they lost on the scoreboard, a lot of good things came out of this. Should be ready for the regular season to start.
Now, the Quad A preseason top 10 was released earlier this week, and the ever-familiar Marist was not in the rankings this year. Did that surprise you at all?
It's a little surprising. Marist is one of those perennial powers. You always expect them to be in that top 10. Heck, they went 9-3 last year. They returned 5 starters on offense, 6 on defense. Sure, they're breaking in a new quarterback, but you know they're always going to be in there. And the good thing about high school football in Georgia is we have the playoffs. We don't have to worry about preseason rankings. I think they're a little overrated. Marist is going to challenge for the region title with Tucker this year. They will be in the state playoffs, and they will make a run like they do year in and year out.
That's right. There are 3 things: death, taxes, and Marist playing in the playoffs.
That's
so
right.
I think a lot of people will count on them there. But the football regular season kicks off this Friday night for all the teams in Region 6-5A. So let's preview those matchups, starting with Roswell playing host to Collins Hill.
Yeah, familiar battle. We saw this game 2 times last year. Collins Hill coming out on top in both of them, the opener of last year and the second round of the state playoffs. Collins Hill, a semifinal team last year. They lose a lot of starters, though. Roswell started the season 0-3 last year. I think it's important for them to get off to a good start this year and kind of have that momentum going into region play. And then we have Alpharetta going on the road to North Cobb. Alpharetta won this ballgame 42-19 last season. North Cobb finished 5-5, did not make the playoffs last year. Heck, North Cobb hasn't made the playoffs since 2007. Alpharetta, of course, a playoff team last year. Looked good in the scrimmage. If they can work out some of those offensive kinks early in the game, I think they can win this game at North Cobb.
Well, some good early tests for our
Milton, Milton at Cherokee should be another good one. Milton won this battle 41-19 last year. The next 3 games are Walton, Harrison, and Lassiter. They need to get off to a good start against Cherokee, because that's 3 very tough games. Milton 13-14 all-time against Cherokee, looking for their 3rd straight win against them. Then we have Centennial going on the road to Campbell. Knights won this one with ease last year, 36-0. Campbell finished 1-9 a year ago. Centennial looking to get back to the playoffs for the first time since 2009. A lot of new players, but should win this one fairly easily. I really like what they brought to the table against Marist. They look to be a pretty good team this year. And then we have Northview playing host to Meadow Creek. Northview won 28-15 last year. The Titans' only win in Coach Davenport's first year. Meadow Creek has only won 1 game in their last 70. They only scored 25 points all last season, 15 of them against Northview. So hopefully the defense comes to play, doesn't let Meadow Creek get on the board, and come away with a win to start the season for the Titans.
Well, there certainly were some good tests in Region 6. But what do you think is the key to success for those teams in the 2011 season?
Limit your mistakes. This first game, everyone's going to be rusty. You have guys playing varsity football for the first time in their lives, some new guys in new positions. There's going to be mistakes. If you can limit mistakes in this first game, kind of weather the storm, play your game, execute your game plan, get a victory, that's the key right there. Mistakes, 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 avoid them.
I think any coach in the state of Georgia would agree with that comment. Yes. But now it's time to look ahead to some of the other big-time games happening around North Fulton to kick off the regular season, and we start with Johns Creek playing host to Rome.
Yeah, Johns Creek lost this one 10-0 last year at Rome. It was kind of a shocker they kept it this close. This is only Johns Creek's 2nd year of 4A competition. Rome finished the season 6-5 last year, making it to the state playoffs. Rome has only missed the playoffs 1 time since 2000, so a very good team. I think Johns Creek can be much improved, though. Could be a victory to start the season. And then we have Marist playing host to Douglas. Marist won this game 48-12 last year. War Eagles not ranked in the top 10, but they're a very good team. This is only the 2nd meeting between the 2 schools. Douglas is 1-19 the past 2 seasons. Should be an easy victory for Marist. All 10 regular season games are region, so want to get off to a good start if you're a Marist War Eagle. Wesleyan going on the road at Seminole County. Wesleyan won this matchup 38-20 last year at home. Seminole County went 7-4 a year ago, losing in the first round of the state playoffs. This is a long drive down south for the Wesleyan Wolves, having to go to Donaldsonville, Georgia, right near the Florida border, about 4.5 hours away. Hopefully they have their legs under them when that whistle blows to start the game. Kings Ridge is going to play host St. Francis. King Ridge won this game 45-0 last year. St. Francis not playing a region schedule quite yet. Kings Ridge went 5-5 in their first year of GHSA competition. Quite an accomplishment. All 5 losses coming in region play after starting 4-0. So you know they want to improve on that mark this year. And then Chattahoochee doesn't get their season kicked off until September 2nd when they will host Lambert. The Hooch won this game 31-7 on the road last year. This is Lambert's second year of region play, only 3rd overall playing varsity football. But Lambert was 8-3 and lost in the first round of the 4A state playoffs last year. I think a lot is expected out of Lambert. This is a very tough game for a Chattahoochee team that's having to reload at most positions on the field.
Yeah, of course, coming off of that state championship, Chattahoochee does have a lot of pieces to fill in. But Blessed Trinity got to start off their season against Buford last week. How did the Titans fare against the Wolves?
Not very good. Blessed Trinity started a week earlier than everybody else, taking on the 4-time defending state champion Buford Wolves, and it wasn't pretty. Lost 42-0. They were down 35-0 at the half. But hey, most teams are going to lose to Buford any Friday night. They're going for their 5th straight state championship. A very good team. Blessed Trinity can't hang their heads on this one. Buford's going to do this to pretty much everybody they play this year. They just need to keep their heads in it and execute their game plan week to week. They'll be fine.
All right, well, that will do it for this week. Catch us back here on Comcast 25 next week for game highlights and features. Also, remember to check us out online at nfpreprally.com. For Nathan Shutter, I'm Teddy Williams, and we'll see you under the lights.
Grab some wood there, bub.